You've probably heard it before. Just save your money and you'll be fine. But let's be honest. In today's economy, that advice feels about as helpful as someone yelling, swim harder while you're already drowning. Everything is more expensive, savings feel harder, and investing sounds like something you'll figure out later. But here's the wild part: you don't need to be rich to become rich. You don't need a giant paycheck or a magic strategy or a lucky break because mathematically, and this is real math, just $1 a day can turn into $1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. So today we're breaking down exactly how that works and why nobody told you this sooner, and how regular people like you build real wealth even in a shaky economy. This is turning $1 a day into $1 million explained simply. Before we even talk about investing, let's address the big question: why does building wealth feel harder than ever? Because it is harder than it used to be. Look at this. In the early 90s, $1,000 had the same buying power as about $2,200 today. A starter home was often well under $120,000, and college tuition was a fraction of what it is now. And let's not forget wages. They haven't kept up even close with inflation over time. For example, the total inflation in the United States from 1990 to 2025, measured by the Consumer Price Index or CPI, was approximately 147.88%. That means prices in 2025 were nearly 2.5 times higher than they were in 1990. However, the median wages have only increased by approximately 25%. Everything feels harder because it actually is. But that's exactly why investing matters. Because if prices rise and wages lag behind, the only thing left that can work for you is your money itself. And that's where the $1 a day idea becomes powerful. It's not about the dollar, it's about the momentum you create. Let's imagine something simple. You take $1, a crumpled, sad, lonely dollar, and instead of spending it on a vending machine soda, you invest it. Nothing dramatic. You're not trying to get rich quick. You're not gambling on meme stocks or risky plays. You're simply doing what many American millionaires quietly do: putting money into something that grows over time. So let's say you invest $1 a day. That's $365 per year. And here's where the magic begins. Because when you invest consistently, your initial money doesn't just grow, but your growth then grows. This is called compound interest. You earn money, and then that generated money creates more money, and then it continues on and on. It's slow at first, then steady, and then suddenly it's unstoppable. Okay, let's break down the real math so you know this isn't just some fantasy YouTube nonsense. Historically, over the last 50 years, the S&P 500 has averaged around 10 to 11% returns per year, even accounting for crashes. Now watch what happens. $1 a day is 365 a year, invested at 11% equals $1 million in around 56 years. That means a teenager starting at 14 could hit $1 million at retirement. And keep in mind, this is $1 we're talking about here. If you increase your investment even slightly, for example, $10 a day, which is about $300 a month or $150 a paycheck, assuming you're paid every 2 weeks, $10 a day then becomes $1 million in roughly 30 years. And here's the part that blows people's minds: most of your million doesn't come from the money you actually put in, it comes from the money your money made for you. You would contribute roughly $100,000 over the course of the 30 years, but your return on the interest would make up the remaining roughly $900,000. Remember, compound seems slow until it's not. So now you're asking, if the math is so simple, why don't most people do this? The answer is psychological. People think $1 here, 5 here, 20 here, it doesn't matter. Or they'll say, I'll start later, it's too complicated, I'm too behind, or I need more money to invest. But the truth, you don't start investing because you have money, you get money because you start investing. Starting small beats not starting every single time. It's not about the dollar, it's about the habit. Because once you build the habit, the contributions grow naturally. And that's where the second part of our journey begins. Now that you understand how as little as $1 a day can snowball into real money, let's make this even more practical. Because the number one question is it too late for me? So let's run through some real examples based on real math for different ages. And trust me, you're not behind and it's not too late. You're exactly where you need to be. If you're 15 to 20 years old, you're in the sweet spot. If you invest just $1 a day, you can realistically hit over $1 million by retirement. But here's the crazy part. If you increase your investment gradually, $1 a day now, two starting at age 25, and then 3 to 5 by age 30, you're actually on track for multiple millions because time is your biggest advantage in this bracket. Now, if you're 20 to 30 years old, this is actually where most wealth stories begin. You're earning money for the first time, you're trying to figure life out, and money feels tight. Here's the truth. At age 20, as little as $250 a day can hit that $1 million mark. And at age 25, $4 a day will hit this mark. And around age 30, $7 to $10 a day will end you in that green zone of $1 million. Not instantly, not quickly, but reliably. Most millionaires don't look rich while they build wealth. They look normal. Your advantage, you're early enough that even small contributions matter, while most likely having a stable job and income. Next, if you're 30 to 40 years old, this is the reality check decade. You usually have bills, kids, rent or mortgage, debt, high healthcare, everything is expensive. But here's the key. Your income is usually higher now. Even a little extra investing goes very far. At age 30, the $10 a day will hit that $1 million mark. At 35, this goes up to $15 a day. And at age 40, we'll have to be putting $25 a day to hit that 1 million. This is not impossible, it's not unrealistic, and it's not for quote unquote rich people. This is simple math. Even if you started at 40, $25 a day is about $750 a month. Is it hard? Yes. Impossible? No. Okay, so if you're 40 to 50, this is where most people panic, but here's a surprising truth. Your peak earning years are usually 40 to 55, and that means you can invest more and you can ultimately catch up faster. You may not hit $1 million exactly, depending on your situation, but you can absolutely reach 300, 400, 500, 600, whatever the amount ultimately ends up being. And that's life-changing money, not just for you, but for your family. Lastly, if you're 50 or older, it is not too late. This video is not about becoming a millionaire. It's about becoming financially stronger as a whole. Even investing 10 a day, 20, $30 a day, whatever it is, can change retirement dramatically. Because investing isn't just about getting rich, it's about reducing stress. And money that works for you is stress you don't have to carry. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Because some of you might be thinking, yeah, but inflation will eat all this up. And that's fair. Inflation is real. And in today's economy, it feels like everything costs more every week. But here's a fact most people don't know. Stocks historically grow 2 to 3 times faster than inflation, even after adjusting for recessions, wars, crashes, depressions, pandemics, everything. The long-term growth of the S&P 500, for example, is still around 7% even after inflation. So yes, prices rise, but investing rises faster. That's why saving alone isn't enough. And it's why $1 a day investing works despite inflation. Now, here's something most people never understand. Becoming wealthy doesn't happen because you just earn more. It happens because you improve your habits. That $1 a day you're investing might become $2 a day. That 2 might become 3. That 3 becomes 5, so on and so forth. Not overnight, not magically, but naturally. Because when you start small, you get used to investing. It stops feeling scary and you start learning. You get cautious, you'll increase your contributions, and the snowball will get bigger. This is why most millionaires start small and not big. Let me tell you a strange truth. People don't fail to become wealthy because of money. They fail because of mindset. They think to themselves, it's too late. I don't make enough. I'll start when life is easier. or investing is just too confusing and I'm too behind. But the data says otherwise. In fact, most millionaires reached $1 million dollars in their 40s and 50s, and they started investing in small amounts. Most made average middle class incomes, and a majority of their wealth came from time, not income. And if you ask them, they usually will say that the hardest part was simply starting. So if you're watching this thinking you're behind, yeah, you're actually not. You're ahead because you started learning what most people never do. All right, you've stayed with me this far, so let's make this practical. Here's exactly how to start building wealth with any income. Step one, start with any amount, even if it's only $1 a day. Not because it's magic, but because it builds the habit. Step two, use automatic investing. This removes emotion, hesitation, stress, and forgetfulness. Step three, use a simple investment strategy like index funds. They outperform most active investors over the long term. These, for example, could be the S&P 500 index fund or the total stock market index fund or any low cost ETFs. We want to aim for consistency over complexity. Step four, increase contributions when possible. Doesn't have to be every month, doesn't have to be every year, just whenever life allows. And step five, stay invested. This is the part where most people sabotage themselves. The stock market has always recovered and grown over time. If you zoom out all the way, the line is always up and to the right. To wrap things up, building wealth isn't about luck. It isn't about winning the lottery. It isn't about being born rich. And it isn't even about timing the market. It's all about starting small and staying consistent. Your future millionaire self isn't built in one big moment. It's built with every tiny decision you make today. And if all you can do is $1 a day, then that's enough. Because $1 isn't just a dollar. It's the beginning of something huge. The first brick in your financial foundation. The first step toward freedom. And the moment you start will be the moment you're already ahead of 90% of people. This is Mike, the investment goblin, and remember, hoard smarter, not harder. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so you get notified of all my future content.